Hey guys, it is Friday, June 12th, 2026, and I hope all of you are having a wonderful Friday. I hope all you June babies are out there celebrating your birth month because I am celebrating mine. I've been celebrating all month. Haven't gotten to mine yet, but I'm still celebrating on my way there. So I hope you guys have a great, great, great birthday month. From my heart to yours, just be safe out there, but have fun. So I'm on here tonight because I did want to talk about Maurice Mopreme Shakur only because I thought his case against Keffe D was like really a big deal. But talking to some of my counterparts, they don't quite have that same sentiment. Nearly 3 decades after Tupac Shakur's murder, Maurice Mopreme Shakur has taken a step, a big step. Many are questioning, however, a wrongful death lawsuit against Keffe D and others allegedly connected to the Tupac case. At a time when Tupac's name continues in 2026 to generate documentaries and licensing agreements, merchandise and likeness deals, the question isn't whether money surrounds Tupac's legacy. It clearly does. The real question is whether this lawsuit is about joining that stream of value or whether a civil courtroom is really the only place left to pursue answers that criminal investigations just have struggled to prove for nearly 30 years. Tonight, we examine the intent behind the lawsuit, the timing, and what justice looks like when a family is still searching for accountability 30 years later.
On September 7, 1996, Tupac Amaru Shakur, Tupac, widely considered to be one of the greatest rap artists of all time, was shot in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas, Nevada, by a gunman in a white Cadillac. Tupac died 6 days later at the young age of 25. For nearly 3 decades, no individuals had been held civilly or criminally accountable for a brutal murder whose effects remain palpable to this day. Witnesses were unwilling to cooperate with the police. Investigations immediately following Tupac's murder ran dry. Even a multi-agency task force, commissioned several years later to investigate the murders of both Tupac and rapper Christopher Wallace, the notorious B.I.G., or Biggie, made no arrests. Some speculated that Biggie, Tupac's perceived rival, was responsible, while others theorized that Marion Knight Jr., Suge Knight, former CEO of Death Row Records, was involved. Many individuals who were involved have long since passed away, while others have been hard to identify. Yet, one thing is certain. There remain individuals who were involved in Tupac's murder who, for 30 years, have not been held accountable for their crimes. This action seeks to change that and to recover damages for the wrongful death of Tupac on behalf of the estate of Mutulu Shakur, Tupac's late stepfather and parent. Defendants John Doe's 1 to 100 are individuals whose true identities and whose specific roles in the conspiracy to murder Tupac are not presently known to plaintiff with sufficient certainty to permit identification in this complaint. While the investigation and public record have revealed the names of certain individuals who may have participated in or facilitated the murder, the specific nature and extent of each individual's involvement, and the identities of additional individuals who may have participated in planning, financing, directing, or carrying out the conspiracy remain unknown. To date, plaintiff has been unable to confirm, through independent investigation, the precise roles of specific individuals, or to distinguish among potential defendants with the certainty required to name them in this complaint, and will amend this complaint to state the true names and capacities of the Doe defendants when the same have been ascertained through discovery. For nearly 3 decades following the shooting of Tupac on September 7, 1996, the identities of the individuals who planned, financed, directed, and carried out his murder were not known to plaintiff and could not have been discovered through the exercise of reasonable diligence. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, LVMPD, opened a criminal investigation. LVMPD claimed the investigation stalled due to witness non-cooperation and a lack of physical evidence. By the late 1990s, LVMPD homicide investigators considered the case cold. In 1997, Afeni Shakur, Tupac's mother, filed a wrongful death action against Orlando Anderson and others in Los Angeles Superior Court. That action was dismissed without prejudice on March 3, 1999. Anderson was murdered in May 1998 in an allegedly unrelated incident. In or around 2006, the Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD, created a joint task force to investigate the murder of Christopher Wallace. During the course of that investigation, the task force obtained information regarding Tupac's shooting, In 2010, the task force was disbanded without making any arrests, and its investigation files were not made available to the public or to Tupac's family and remain unavailable to this day. In or around 2024, members of Tupac's family contacted former LAPD detective Greg Kading, who led the task force, and requested access to his case files. On September 29, 2023, the LVMPD arrested Keffe and charged him with the murder of Tupac, the first arrest in connection with the killing in 27 years.
Never did ever kill nobody. They don't have no evidence against me. Came and put me in Las Vegas, proved that I orchestrated this.
In or around October 2023, portions of the grand jury transcripts from Keffe's criminal proceeding were obtained. Those transcripts revealed, for the first time in a public and credible forum, the substance of Keffe's 2008 proffer session with the LAPD and the FBI, including statements regarding the involvement of individuals beyond those present in the white Cadillac used during the shooting. On information and belief, those files suggest a broader network of individuals involved in Tupac's killing. During pretrial proceedings, the Clark County District Attorney's Office, the CCDA, relied heavily on the investigative files compiled by Greg Kading, the Kading files, to oppose Keffe's bail application, citing them as evidence that Keffe posed a threat to the community. In or around October 2024, news outlets reported that Tupac's family retained Quinn Emanuel Urquhart and Sullivan, LLP, to investigate the facts surrounding Tupac's murder and to evaluate potential civil claims. The repeated denials by potentially responsible parties and lack of cooperation from witnesses to the crime collectively amount to fraudulent concealment and, together with law enforcement's inability to identify suspects for nearly 30 years, warrant equitable tolling of the applicable statute of limitations, making this claim timely. Keffe himself engaged in deliberate acts of concealment designed to prevent the discovery of his involvement in Tupac's murder. Keffe also convened a meeting of his crew and directed them to manage the aftermath of the killing, further ensuring that the circumstances of Tupac's murder would remain hidden. On September 23, 1995, Jai Hassan Jamal Robles, Big Jake, a Death Row Records bodyguard, was shot and killed outside the Platinum House nightclub in Atlanta, Georgia, during another heated exchange between Suge Knight and Combs. Approx information and belief, Suge Knight informed others, including Reginald Wright Jr., Wright, a former Compton police officer and head of security for Death Row Records, that he believed Combs was responsible for Big Jake's death, further escalating the feud between the two popular record labels. Tupac's security guard, Frank Alexander, and his childhood friends and members of the Outlaws, Malcolm Greenidge, Idi Amin, Qatari Cox, Castro, and Yafeu Fula, Yaki Gaddafi, were in the car immediately behind the BMW. At approximately 11 p.m., Suge Knight and Tupac were stopped by local police for not properly displaying their license plate. Though Suge Knight was sitting next to Tupac when he was shot, he reportedly told investigators he heard something but saw nothing. This led to what has been called the 10-day war between Mob Piru and the Southside Crips, during which approximately 10 people were killed. In or around October 1996, the Compton Police Department raided 39 locations in connection with the shooting, including the residences of DeAndre Smith, Terrence Brown, Keffe and Orlando Anderson. Compton PD Detective Ladd testified that we arrested many of them. Law enforcement considered Yafeu Fula to be a viable witness, potentially capable of identifying Tupac's assailants because he was traveling in the car directly behind Tupac's when the shooting took place. Unfortunately, Fula was fatally shot in an apartment building in New Jersey in November 1996. Former LAPD detective Russell Poole's investigation into the murder of Biggie, as reported by the Los Angeles Times, revealed connections between the LAPD and Death Row Records. In 2002, Valletta Wallace, Biggie's mother, Faith Evans, and others filed suit against the LAPD, Chief Bernard Parks, and the City of Los Angeles for wrongful death and civil rights violations in connection with a failed investigation into Biggie's murder. Greg Kading was appointed to lead the task force. After officers on the task force determined that the deaths of Biggie and Tupac were related, they broadened its focus to include Tupac's murder as well. When Mrs. Wallace's lawsuit was dismissed in 2010, the task force was disbanded. No arrests were made. Related theories suggest that Combs commissioned Tupac's murder. Others claimed that Tupac was planning to leave Death Row Records to start his own label, and Suge Knight orchestrated the killing in response. Still others theorized that Suge Knight's ex-wife, Sharitha Golden, and his former head of security, Reginald Wright Jr., conspired to kill Suge Knight, and Tupac was caught in the crossfire. And most distressingly, some have popularized the theory that Tupac is still alive. On information and belief, in or around late 1995 through the summer of 1996, one or more of the Doe defendants agreed with Keffe, members of the Southside Compton Crips, and/or other individuals to murder Tupac in exchange for monetary compensation. That agreement was reached during one or more meetings, including but not limited to a meeting at Greenblatt's Deli on the Sunset Strip in Los Angeles, California, at which the terms of compensation were discussed and confirmed.
What is the real goal here? And why do these complaints read like Hollywood screenplays? On page 25 of the complaint, prosecutors confirmed they had no plans to pursue additional criminal charges in Tupac's murder, and that Keffe was the only viable criminal defendant unless new evidence emerged. During the same call, the district attorney's CCDA also confirmed the office had no plans to bring additional charges against anyone else in connection with Tupac's case. So, why are we here? That's what makes this case so difficult to understand. This is a wrongful death civil action, not a criminal prosecution. Civil lawsuits seek financial compensation, but they cannot deliver criminal accountability. Criminal lawsuits seek accountability without heavy compensation. Ironically, there are no time limits for a criminal death complaint. Yet, Quinn Emanuel jumped through hoops to explain delayed discovery in their reach for this civil complaint. They'll be meeting again in October of this year. It really appears like they have no plans to really even try this civil case. When you consider the lives lost, the damage done, and the decades of unanswered questions surrounding Tupac, Biggie, and Death Row Records, money feels like an incomplete answer. We've counted at least 30 deaths connected directly or indirectly to Death Row Records. Until that larger story is fully told, everything else is a distraction. While the lawsuit fails to list Mopreme's request in honor of his father's estate, they did check the expectation box of exceeding $35,000. Undeniably, this lawsuit is worth millions. But do these people have it? No lawsuit can restore what's been lost. No settlement can compensate for the lives that are gone. What Tupac's estates can do is protect his legacy, stop the endless exploitation of his name and image, and finally tell the complete story of his life, and the forces that profited from his life and still seem to be profiting from his death. The real legacy of Tupac Shakur should never be reduced to a lawsuit. It should just be the truth. This is Pearl Productions News. Peace.